49ers update, first big practice of Chiefs week, and out on the field, Ricky Pearsall. Actually, our first chance to see him running routes and catching passes since he was shot in the chest on August 31st in San Francisco. I also had a chance to talk to Ricky in the locker room. Wasn't an official interview, so no quotes, anything like that, but I can say that Ricky Pearsall was very upbeat, very friendly interview, appreciating this opportunity to be back out onto the field for the 49ers. Again, I don't know if we're going to see him this weekend against the Chiefs, but he is moving well. That's very apparent. He was a guy that was generating separation in training camp before a shoulder injury, and then obviously the shooting on August 31st in San Francisco. But I think at some point this season, Ricky Pearsall is going to be an important 49ers asset in the red zone and probably everywhere else on the football field. Update today from practice, no Jauan Jennings with a hip issue. I asked Kyle Shanahan if that happened during the bonus practice on Monday, and he said no, it actually happened during the game at Seattle last week, but it didn't surface until a little bit later. I don't sense that much concern about Jauan Jennings' status for Sunday against the Chiefs, but he didn't practice today. I would put Malik Collins, who missed practice today, the defensive tackle with a knee injury, into the same boat, not sensing a whole lot of concern. No Matthew Wright, the backup kicker. Obviously no Jake Moody, who has the high ankle sprain, although Jake was out on the practice field walking around just fine, obviously just in sweats. He wasn't in uniform, didn't have a brace or anything on the ankle, but he will definitely miss this game. Matthew Wright wasn't at practice, coming back from the dislocated shoulder. So the 49ers signed Anders Carlson, the former Auburn kicker, and met Anders in the locker room today, let him know that Margot went to Auburn. I think Margot went to Auburn at the same time as Anders Carlson's older brother went to school there. That was Daniel Carlson. Anders said, War Eagle, will pass the message along to Margot, and there's a good chance the 49ers will be having their third kicker in 3 weeks. No practice today for Leonard Floyd, but that was a vet day. Shout out to Leonard Floyd's durability. 118 straight games and counting for Leonard Floyd. Hasn't missed a game in a long time, and today, well-deserved vet day for Leonard Floyd. Limited in practice today was Deebo Samuel with a wrist injury, Malik Mustafa with a low ankle sprain, and Jordan Elliott with a knee. But all three of those guys did participate. They were just limited for the 49ers as they prepare to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. I can talk about the vibes in the locker room. I think there's definitely a level of focus that the 49ers have right now that they didn't have earlier in the season. That's because it's Chiefs week. This is a team that's beaten them in 2 Super Bowls, also beat them in the 2022 season. Chatted with Colton McKivitz, who was talking about the need to be on the P's and Q's at the pivotal moments against the Chiefs defensive line. I mean, that's where Kansas City has had San Francisco's number in both Super Bowls. But last year, we remember Chris Jones wreaking havoc at just the wrong time for the 49ers, just the right time for the Chiefs. Jones is going to line up across the entire formation. So Colton McKivitz, even though Jones is a defensive tackle, McKivitz at right tackle is going to have to be ready for him coming off the edge. Obviously, there's been a change at right guard since the Super Bowl. Dominic Pooney, the rookie, is starting now instead of Spencer Burford. You know, Colton, and I'll have some of this on my writing up on the San Francisco Standard, Colton talked a lot about and I asked him about how effectively the 49ers have run right this year. It's been a big change. They used to be a left-heavy running team, and he does credit it to his improvement, to the chemistry that he has with Dominic Pooney. He talked about how important that ambidexterity of the 49ers offense is, and that's something they could take against the Chiefs this weekend. Remember, I've talked about Kansas City improving from number 28 to 8 in EPA per play against the run. McKivitz did verify that the Chiefs do look a lot better on run defense than they did last season. So the challenge might even intensify. I mean, Kyle Shanahan said that the Chiefs are the best defense the 49ers faced last year, and they're the best defense the 49ers have faced this year. Ranks in the top 10 this season, the Kansas City defense. I think it did last season at the Super Bowl as well. Obviously, that defense has been carrying the load a lot more than some people casually realize, because Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce are on this team, but Mahomes is not having statistically the best season. He's thrown shorter. He's not been as efficient. A lot of lower scoring games for Kansas City. They even won one against the Chargers 17-10. This has been a defensive show for the Chiefs. And I think that was a lot of the vibe in the 49ers locker room. And then out of practice, the receivers in their warm-up drills, going through some of the route running, seemed more intense than it had been earlier this year. A lot of grunting, those guys getting into and out of their breaks. San Francisco struggled against man coverage against Kansas City last year. I know no L'Jarius Sneed anymore for the Chiefs, but Chiefs are going to play man, or they have played man on tape about 35% of the time. 49ers are going to have to be ready to beat some of that man coverage, because there is going to be an opportunity to in this game, and if they don't take that opportunity, if they don't generate separation, if they don't beat this high Chiefs blitz rate that Steve Spagnuolo is going to bring with some good quick separation, it could be a long day for their offense. So that level of focus definitely is there for the 49ers at practice. They're going to move forward and have a session on Thursday that's probably going to be the longest of the week. Remember, they are coming off of the mini bye week, and then a slower practice, maybe half speed on Friday before walkthrough on Saturday. The game will be here at Levi's Stadium on Sunday. Nick Bosa, Fred Warner also both spoke in the locker room. Give you a quick listen in to some of what Nick Bosa said at practice today, or before practice today, in the 49ers locker room. And with that, we will set the table for more talk about Brock Purdy against Patrick Mahomes. Article coming out on the San Francisco Standard a little bit later today.
And then hopefully that day comes where the stats come. But I think I affected the game a good amount last week, so that's good for the team.
Nick, I'm sure there's a Super Bowl, there are plenty of plays you think about. Dan, if only, and we've done better there. But when it comes to the 4th and 1 on Mahomes run in overtime, is that one particularly, I mean, I know it's 4th and 1, so it's no guarantee you're going to stop him, but is that one particularly, was that one
to hold the ball.
difficult to get over?
Yeah, no, that was tough, especially because we have calls that could negate that, and we just didn't really, like, they ran the zone read a few times and we just didn't find an answer to it. But yeah, I mean, I definitely thought he was going to hold it or keep it, but I got to do my job, especially in a big moment like that. You can't go out of your job. But we definitely have a plan for the zone read this time, so hindsight's 20/20.
Because you crashed, that is your job, right?
That was, yeah.
Okay. But then you, like mid-play, you're kind of like,
Yeah.
you did a shrug, but not a celebratory shrug. Can you even hint at what should have happened?
I mean, there's a couple of variables. I think the tight end came across, so that changes some things for the guys behind me. So I honestly don't know whose it is, but I just tried to make it decisive for the guys.
Have you guys changed a lot from that game, just watching, in terms of how you try to attack them this time around from your experiences?
Yeah. I mean, like any game that you played a team before, you watch the tape and learn from it.
Does this offense flag, or is the Jet kind of less in trouble for holding, or is it just depending on the players?
Last year, for sure. Last year they had two of the top penalized guys in the league. But it doesn't look too bad this year, but we'll see.
Are there more crews, are there refereeing crews that kind of let it go more than others?
I mean, it seems different every week, so we'll see.
Do you count your steps throughout the day? Is that why you use a scooter?
That's kind of how it started. I don't count them, but I just takes a little off the legs. Why not? It's a lot of walking from building to building.
Nick, what is the